Welcome to Curtain Up, a show that looks at current theater productions in the Bay Area and occasionally beyond. I'm Alan Stern, a theater critic who's written for publications in Boston, Denver, and nationally. And this is my co-host, Greg Smith, who is well-versed in movies, theater, opera, art, history. He brings a broad and deep perspective to everything he examines.
Wow, thank you for that introduction. I'm more impressed by myself than I thought I would be. I have no credentials as a theater critic, but I do love everything Alan just mentioned. And really glad to be here. We have a very exciting show for you today. First, we're going to introduce and interview two of our favorite performers who are currently appearing at Feinstein's Cabaret at the Nico Hotel in San Francisco. After that, though that is the most important part of our show, after that we'll be discussing a new production of one of the greatest musicals of all time, My Fair Lady.
We are definitely excited about this episode. But first, I want to show off my new theater souvenir.
Very nice.
I was in New York a couple of weeks ago and saw the fantastic smash production of Just in Time, which stars Jonathan Groff as Bobby Darin. Now, Darin was the mid-century crooner who had huge hits in the 1950s and 60s with his swing versions of Mac the Knife and Beyond the Sea. Mm-hmm. He was sort of the Michael Bublé of his era.
Mm-hmm. Darin was also celebrated, though, for his marriage to Sandra Dee, the young actress who starred in Gidget, A Summer Place, and so many other hits of the late 50s and early 60s. And we love Sandra Dee.
Right. And Sandra Dee is actually a character in the show, mm-hmm. as is Connie Francis, whom we lost recently.
Which is sad. I know, very
tragic.
Because
Connie Francis and Bobby Darin had an affair before, when he was a rising singer, before he met Sandra.
Which I had not known. I didn't know that until she died, and then I was reading that in her obituary.
So anyway, Jonathan Groff was sensational, singing, dancing, and sweating up a storm as Darin. Yes, Groff is one of Broadway's most talented musical stars, but he's also known for the fact that he sweats profusely when he performs. In fact, when he was doing the song Splish Splash, you could see the droplets of sweat flying off his body and hitting the audience members who were sitting in the cabaret tables on the stage and in the first couple of rows.
I bet they paid extra for those seats, and I think I might be willing to do that too, but that's enough said.
Anyway, yes, I was sitting in the sixth row, so I missed that soggy experience, but came home with a mug to hold my memories.
Lovely.
Anyway, Greg, let's get to our fabulous guests today.
Yes. We are about to bring out David Saffert and Jillian Snow, two performers who are better known, including to many people here in the Bay Area, by their alter egos, Liberace and Liza Minnelli. Liberace, of course, was the flamboyant pianist and entertainer who was a staple of Las Vegas and television from the 50s through the 80s. Sorry. I certainly remember seeing him often then. And Liza Minnelli, well, if you don't know who Liza Minnelli is, what are you doing watching our show?
Here are a few clips from their act, which is currently at Feinstein's at the Nico in San Francisco.
When life is a cabaret, old chum, only a cabaret, old chum, and I love a cabaret.
The one and only Ms. Liza Minnelli. Get dressed like this to go unnoticed. Can I play something nice for you? Can I play a little more piano music? Would you mind? And it's fun. It's fun for the whole family. Tell me something, girl. Are you happy in this modern world?
I'm off the deep end. Watch as I dive in. I'll never meet the crowd. Crash through the surface where they can't hurt us. We're far from the shallow now.
You put me in a cowboy hat and boots, and you can't tell me apart from Bradley Cooper.
Exactly.
And Now let's welcome David and Jillian, otherwise known as Liberace and Liza.
Yay, we're so excited. All right, you guys. So great to see you.
Welcome.
I'm going to give you a hug.
Great.
So good to see you.
Thank you
and I'm
so
going to
much.
step out of the way
Scoot.
so that you guys
You
get
just
the
want to get to leave.
I do. No, I want you to have the
Thank
places of
you.
prominence
Oh,
that you deserve.
Oh, we're a little
You know, I have
Yes.
not seen you out of your costume and makeup before.
You're
and
welcome.
You guys are so young.
I know, it's true. That's killing me. You know.
We're just
Well,
wee children.
Old souls.
Old
souls.
Okay.
who love these
Yeah.
people that we get to play.
Well, we've got Gen X and Millennial.
That's
So-
right. Yes.
Giving
Wow.
them all the
Yeah.
show.
So
Which is great.
let's start with you, David. What generated this interest in Liberace?
Honestly, it started with meeting Jillian and seeing her doing
Really?
Liza.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Jillian was doing Liza way before I was ever doing
Okay.
Liberace, but I had a show in Portland, Oregon around my birthday every year, a variety show. And after I had seen her do the most amazing Liza ever, I was
Aw.
like,
Of
would you
course.
please be in my show?
Yeah.
And
So what kind of show?
it was a
were you
variety show. Where of course, I was myself.
Uh-huh.
I would play piano. I would have. At the time, I was working for Portland Opera, Oregon
Okay.
Ballet
Yeah.
Theater, some of these highbrow
Yeah.
institutions, and so I would have ballet dancers in it and opera singers. But then there was also like a lowbrow. There was a lot of lowbrow meets highbrow.
We love highbrow
Mhm.
and lowbrow.
Oh, yeah. And of course, then I wanted to bring in Jillian as Liza, and a friend of mine. I was trying to figure out, am I going to be myself or should I be someone
Yeah.
else as well?
Oh.
And my friend Sam said, you should do Liberace. And I just
perfect.
dismissed it right away. I thought,
Phyllis
no way.
Stiller is what you
Phyllis
want.
Diller.
Yeah.
Which would
Yeah. The big. Yeah. But I started researching Liberace. You know, you can look up these people on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Days,
Yeah.
years. And so I got to look up all of these clips of Liberace, and I just became infatuated with him. I loved his
Yeah.
stage presence
Yeah.
and how he
Mhm.
talked with
Amazing.
the audience and his piano playing, of course.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm going to do it. And so we started. That's when I started performing as Liberace, which we only did a couple of times, and we thought that would be it.
Yeah.
Huh.
We thought Liberace and Liza won't. That's it. So it'll happen for one weekend.
We're done.
And we're done. And then people liked it.
Yes, loved it and love it.
Yeah.
Yes. So you had not thought about doing Liberace until your friend suggested it?
Yeah,
Wow.
not at all. Not at
Wow.
all. Although it was kind of fun to learn. I actually didn't know at that time. I'm from Wisconsin,
Okay.
and I didn't know that Liberace was also
Oh,
yeah,
Milwaukee.
right,
Yeah.
from Milwaukee.
Right. And you have a little bit
The
of a
accent is real.
Wisconsin,
Yes,
that upper
a
Midwest.
little-
That's
yeah.
Little
nationality.
advantage, David.
I
Yes.
did. Well, when I started researching him, I'm like, God, he sounds like my grandmother.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
And sure enough, yeah. And so now when I perform as Liberace, I think about how he speaks, but part of me is also thinking about how my grandmother
Yeah.
spoke.
Yeah.
So I have both of those for reference.
And she would have been more of that generation
Yes,
too, right?
absolutely.
Yeah, his generation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't
Yeah.
do Liberace without being a superb pianist. So
incredible.
Where did you get that training?
That's the part I was like, I hope I can bring at least this to the act. I in Wisconsin, I have studied piano since I was 7 years old.
Wow.
In high school, I started studying with a college professor, and then I eventually got scholarships to go to that college and keep
Fabulous.
studying with her. But I mean, even at that time, Liberace never entered my brain.
Yeah.
I was studying, Chopin,
Wow.
Mozart, Beethoven. But I really started getting into musical theater. The first job I had out of college was accompanying a production of The Secret Garden.
Oh, wow.
So that's when I started. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I actually really like.
There's another side to it.
Yeah.
too, right?
So
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe classical isn't the only
Yeah.
thing that I want to
You
play.
kind of did the whole Liberace thing.
No,
It's
Liberace.
what happened.
Yeah.
It was like starting to, I actually like jazz. Oh, I like playing disco. I like playing rock and roll. I
Yeah.
like musical theater. And it's all the things that Liberace also, he was classically
Gravitated.
trained, but
Yeah.
he also liked,
Right.
bringing in all these other different kinds of music genres into his act.
And you
Yeah.
said you had a variety act before you did Liberace. So did you sing also?
Yes, but it was not. It was just to be silly. I remember I sang "Wind Beneath My Wings"
Oh,
Yeah.
for some reason. But that's been part of the act that I'm a little more. I'm not trained singer.
I think
like
you're-
this one.
You're a
is.
fabulous singer,
Well, you're very
actually.
sweet.
You do a very good Bradley Cooper.
Yes, and a very good Ellen DeGeneres.
Thank
Don't be
you.
shy.
My Ellen
Yes.
DeGeneres.
And now that she's left the country, we need someone. Isn't she
Yeah.
moved? So we
We're
need
gonna have
someone
to-
do
That's
it.
right.
Introduce.
Well, all I need is a little makeup
Yeah.
and
It
a
did
cardigan
start with
that
that,
I can
though.
play.
Right.
It did start. I the first time we actually did anything together,
Yeah.
I did play Ellen DeGeneres.
Fabulous.
And she played, but Liza, but
Yeah,
that didn't work out
Liza
as
and
well.
Ellen.
Liberace.
Liza and Ellen.
That would be interesting.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Liza
what was
and
it? Ellen on the piano. I remember
Yeah,
that.
I had
singing
Ellen
that
DeGeneres.
song.
I played Cabaret
Oh my gosh.
for her singing, and at the very
Yeah.
end, she as Liza goes, Ellen DeGeneres on the piano, ladies and
You
gentlemen.
guys you need to do that again.
What a
That's so
weird-
brilliant.
And I love that you never spoke
No.
like her. You just,
Oh, no.
you just
Just sort of,
smiled.
you were
I
just-
knew I
And
couldn't
you did the
speak.
dance.
I was a total like Harpo Marx
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
moment with. I'm just
Yeah.
like I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah.
So Jillian,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
let's talk about you
Yes.
and your singing background.
Oh
Yeah, tell
gosh.
us. And where are you from originally?
I'm from Salem, Oregon.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Originally, yeah.
Which, because my family's from Oregon, which I'm going to mention in a minute. So yes, I know Salem.
Gosh, we're neighbors.
And do you know the old expression, she's going to Salem? Because the state institution was there. So my parents used to, sorry, my parents, my mother used to say that. It was the expression
That
like
was-
somebody's
That
having
was
trouble.
huge. It was a huge
Yeah.
staple.
Sorry,
Yeah.
so not that that has anything to do with you.
that puts Salem.
Sorry.
That puts Salem on the map.
On the map.
What is it? One Flew Over the Cuckoo's
yeah,
Nest.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that was
And we-
Salem.
But you're from Salem.
Yes, I'm from Salem. I broke out of the institution and then started doing Liza. No.
With my family.
Yes.
No, they stayed.
Oh,
But they're still there.
Yes. Well, I always sang secretly. I was a shy kid. So when everybody was gone or running errands or whatever, I would just sing in my room, and I was really into all the Broadway divas.
Wow.
Judy. It started with Judy, and one year my mom, we used to go to in Salem. You go to the Goodwill bins, we call it the binage.
Yeah.
French
French accent.
Find all
Yeah.
sorts of little goodies in there. And she found a copy of Stepping Out, VHS
Which
of that.
I love.
I'd never seen it. I
Yeah.
was really, really
I've
into
never seen it. That's Eliza
Oh.
Minnelli.
Oh, yeah, it's
I
incredible.
went to it when it came out.
Yes.
I've never seen
Yes.
it.
I think I went several times.
Oh,
Oh.
it's a
love
really good. It just they weren't ready for it.
No,
But
no.
it's a really
And
solid,
I also haven't seen that
solid
other-
movie.
Liza movie you mentioned in your act.
Rent-A-Cop
Rent-A-Cop.
I haven't seen that either, but I want to.
with
Weird.
Burt Reynolds.
Oh yeah, with Burt Reynolds.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's.
It's-
I don't know if it was ahead of its time, but
Yeah.
it's. You should watch it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that movie just kind of put it over the edge for me, and I
Stepping out.
yes.
Yeah.
Well,
I
I
get that.
love tap. I took tap
Ah.
dancing for years and years. Loved tap dancing, and so that movie just kind of brought it full circle. And I remember my mom saying, that's Judy Garland's little girl,
Wow.
and then I just was like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
mind blown.
yeah, yeah.
But years later, I went to school after I never got over the shy. I'm still very, very shy.
And you have
on
such an
stage.
amazing voice.
But-
I would think you are the last person in the world who should be shy
Oh.
about having your voice heard. Seriously.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
know.
really nice.
yeah. So
I'm-
that's endearing though. It's very sweet.
Yeah,
you know.
it's it's I think that doing Liza for me was kind of a way to get out there, wearing not so much a mask, but
Right.
it was kind of my comfort.
That makes
So
sense.
that's kind of how that started,
Okay.
and then through that comfort, I kind of found my own voice a little bit, and just started doing more and more. But when I was in New York, I went to this piano bar. It was called Uncle Charlie's.
Oh, yeah.
In the
Uncle Charlie's.
Lower East Side. Yeah, just fabulous. It's
Wasn't
still
that a gay
there.
bar?
It was a gay bar.
Uh,
What is
I didn't
that?
know if it is a
Liberace
piano
Liza
bar.
wouldn't talk about
Oh
that.
yeah, no, never. Gay what?
Judy certainly wouldn't.
Yes,
No.
yes,
No.
definitely. Well, I sang there what I did. A friend who was the piano player there. His name is William T.N. Hall. He's
Okay.
lovely, but he hosted a night there, and so he and I went to school together. And he said, "Oh, Jill, do your Liza,"
Yeah.
and so I did, and And then there was somebody in the audience that knew of this show, and it was called the Miss Hag Pageant.
Love it.
And it just kind of domino effect, and that's kind of how a career was born. I don't, and it's so much fun. And then meeting this guy, it just it all just made beautiful, weird sense.
It's meant to be. And then did you move back to Portland now?
I did
back to
eventually.
Oregon?
Yeah, I was in New York for about 7 or 8 years, and then I moved back, not thinking I was going to be doing, I was just kind of figuring things out, what the next move was. And my sister's actually, she's in film and TV and behind the scenes, but she's in production. But she knew this guy and was like, "You got to go see his show." First, it was like, I saw your birthday show, and I was just, it was like kindred spirit. Just, I mean, the comedy we had, and we both love all the same movies, so that makes sense. It's just, we quote the same thing. So
how did it develop to what it is today?
It's weird because it's almost like it was. We didn't choose it. Yeah. We were doing something that was really fun, and then it just felt so right and comfortable, and then we started doing it more and more, and I don't know, it just kind of developed with, like everything else, we kind of started changing with the times with our whatever we're singing.
I feel like it started with the music. I think it made sense for Liberace to play a lot of Liza's tunes, to play. I mean, he did play New York.
Yeah,
he did play a lot of that, the musical theater music of Liza's time, and so I think.
But as you said, they never performed together.
They never performed together, right?
I think that was the thing, because they were just different generations. Right. But if they were in the same generation, those two would be, Studio 54 getting down and
totally,
and silly. So yeah.
And now they are through you guys, which is so fabulous.
We've definitely
we have ragers. I mean, just kidding.
The chemistry between the two people definitely has taken some time. Well, I mean, it was great at the beginning, but I've learned more about Liza. Liza's learned more about Liberace. We learned more about ourselves, and now like I can feed Liza a line here, and I'm like, oh, I know Jillian's gonna take this somewhere. Like, we just know each other that well now. We know our characters so well, but they're those two people who like almost got married. In a weird way.
Definitely.
It's obvious they never got married.
Right.
Well, not that obvious. Given Liza's history, but so
right. But you could see them try to be married.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's kind of the fun of you're like, these two bicker sometimes, but they're also best friends. It's almost
cover of People magazine.
I think Greg and I have seen you guys every time you've been in San Francisco at Feinstein's, and I guess the first time was 2018. And I just saw you on the calendar, and I said, Greg.
Yeah, you did.
The Liza and Liberace.
We're going.
Concert. We have to go. And I thought it would be maybe a little cheesy. But you're not cheesy at all.
At all.
Oh, that's nice.
And you're incredibly funny. But there's not a mean-spirited bone in what you do. I mean, it's clear that you obviously love the people that you're portraying.
So much.
It's a real tribute to them.
I think that was
Thank you.
I know that I'll speak for myself, but that was always something that I was really afraid of. That if Liza did see it, that I would never want her to take it the wrong way, because we are just such fangirls.
I meant to ask you, has she ever seen
I don't
your
think
clips?
Not that I know of.
Wow.
But I somebody had asked me if I'd seen her live ever met her. I said no, but I did sit next to her one time at this show that a friend of mine knew she was going to be
Altar
there.
Boys. Let's say the name of the show.
Yes,
Altar Boys.
Yes. And she had gotten me a seat near Liza, and I just stared at her the whole show. I couldn't say anything.
It's you can't in that situation.
It was like there's just you can't touch that. I don't know.
I know exactly what you mean. I felt that way when I met Hillary Clinton, but that's a whole nother story. So
I think our time is almost up.
Can I quickly say that from Portland? My family's from Portland, as I sort of mentioned, Oregon and everything. And I love Portland. It's a fabulous city. I don't think of it as necessarily spawning this kind of glamour You know what I mean? It's more natural. in a way.
Birkenstocks and
Yeah.
flannel
But
shirts.
Portland
kind of a place.
is weird, so there's
It's got
there's
everything.
always room for sequence.
It's got everything.
That is true. That's very true.
And do you love being in San Francisco?
Oh my, this is our home away from home. We always say that.
Yeah, I get really. I leave my heart in San Francisco.
Yeah.
I really do. My
Well.
husband gets to come with me.
Love
He's
it.
a school teacher. He gets to be
Oh, wow.
here with us and help us. And
Oh, nice.
it's hard for me to go back.
We love having you here.
We
Yeah.
love it.
Aw.
And your show is on at Feinstein's at the Feinstein's Cabaret at the Nico Hotel through the 26th.
That's right.
Right? And so do yourself a favor, audience, and don't walk, run to go see them.
Yes.
You guys are fabulous.
Thank you
so
for
Incredible.
the support, you guys.
Thank you so much.
You guys are
Thank
sweet.
you.
All right, we'll
you.
take a quick break and be back with our next segment. If you're viewing this broadcast too late to see Liza and Liberace in San Francisco, check out their website, liberaceandliza.com, to find out where they're performing next. Believe us, it's worth the trip.
And petition everyone to get them back here as soon as we can get them.
Okay, we're back, and now we're going to segue from the sublimely ridiculous Liberace and Liza to one of the most enchanting musicals of the American stage, a new production of My Fair Lady, recently opened at the San Francisco Playhouse and is running through September 13th. My Fair Lady is, of course, the musical version of George Bernard Shaw's Pygmalion, a play from 1913 about a phonetics professor who takes on a Cockney flower girl as a pupil, boasting that by cleaning up her speech, he can pass her off as a duchess.
The play is about class or class, dialect, morality, and women's place in society, if I'm going to do that accent, which I can't do that well. But the reason it endures is that Shaw created two indelible, headstrong characters, Henry Higgins, and Eliza Doolittle, and pitted them against each other to spectacular effect.
Now, when Alan J. Lerner and Frederick Loewe began working on turning the play into a musical, and this was early 1950s, Rodgers and Hammerstein were the reigning kings of Broadway.
Yeah.
And Lerner and Lowe were upstarts with a couple of modest hits under their belts, including Brigadoon and Paint Your Wagon. And Hammerstein had told Lerner that their effort was doomed because you couldn't make a musical out of Pygmalion. The play lacks any romance, and there isn't a secondary couple for the subplot.
Yet, when My Fair Lady opened in 1956, it was immediately hailed as a classic, with gorgeous music by Lowe, witty lyrics by Lerner, and iconic performances by Rex Harrison as Higgins, and yes, Julie Andrews as Eliza.
Now, to make it work, Lerner and Lowe deviated a bit from the Shaw play by writing new scenes that lent themselves to song, such as the scene at the Ascot racetrack where Eliza tries out her newly learned speech, and adding just a soupçon of a suggestion of romantic feeling between Higgins and Eliza.
The original production ran on Broadway for 6.5 years, making it, at the time, the longest running Broadway show of all time, right?
Take that, Rodgers and Hammerstein.
And then, there.
Now, I have to say, My Fair Lady runs pretty deep into my psyche. I grew up in New York, and I was about 3 years old when the show opened in 1956.
You've just given your age away by
I
saying that.
know. I know. You know, I'm from the Pleistocene era. You're
Not
from
the
the
troll.
Jurassic.
I'm
No.
Jurassic.
Anyway. And my parents liked to go to theater, and they went to see it. And my father loved it so much that he went right out and bought the original cast album.
Yeah.
And in those days, you know, when you had a hit musical on Broadway, you had a choice. You could spend $4.99 for the original cast album with all the Broadway performers singing the songs, or you could save a little money and, you know, for $2.99 get the unoriginal cast album, where you had the same songs, but they were sung by anonymous performers.
Just by somebody.
Right. And my parents were frugal, so usually they bought the unoriginal cast album.
Well, that generation, our parents were.
But for My Fair Lady, they had to have the original because who else could do it except Julie Andrews and Rex Harrison?
And let's not talk about Julie Andrews being replaced by Audrey Hepburn for the movie version, which came out a bit after that. And of course, hit Broadway shows often spawned, and especially then, I think, spawned movies. Julie was incredible. I didn't have the good fortune to see her on stage.
Yeah,
but I'm
neither did I.
Didn't either.
Yeah.
We know she was incredible, but she was replaced by Audrey because Julie Andrews was not considered to be
Box office.
Yeah, right?
Right.
At the time. So they chose somebody else incredible, Audrey Hepburn. I mean, both Audrey Hepburn and Julie Andrews, I call them Audrey and Julie, are like celestial diva superstars. And we love Audrey Hepburn.
Yeah.
But Julie
Audrey
Andrews
didn't have the voice. And she thought that she would be singing in the movie. And they didn't tell her that they dubbed her over with Marnie Nixon, who also did Natalie Wood in West Side Story.
Yeah, the great Marnie Nixon.
She was pretty.
And Deborah Carr in The King and I.
Yes. Yeah. So Audrey was pretty heartbroken when she found that out. And of course, Jack Warner was the producer of My Fair Lady, and you know what Joan Crawford said about him.
He was a stinker.
He was a stinker.
Yeah, Jack Warner was a stinker. I think even compared to L.B. Mayer, but that's another Joan Crawford story there. But of course, Julie Andrews kind of got the last laugh, if you want to call it a laugh, because she was nominated for Best Actress for Mary Poppins, the film she did instead of My Fair Lady.
Exactly.
Audrey Hepburn was omitted from the Oscar nominations, and Julie won, and then went on to do, I call her Julie, then went on to do Sound of Music the next year and was nominated again for an Oscar.
Yeah. So anyway, I kind of grew up on the cast album of My Fair Lady. In fact, I loved it so much, I refused to go visiting my grandparents or aunts and uncles unless I could bring the album with me, and play it on their Victrola.
Some kids bring a stuffed animal or a toy, but you brought My Fair Lady.
So I think that explains a lot about how I turned out the way I did. Blame it on My Fair Lady. Anyway.
Fabulous.
Let's turn to the production to San Francisco Playhouse, and here are a few scenes.
This creature with her curbstone English, the English that will keep her in the gutter till the end of her days. Well, sir, in 6 months I could pass her off as a duchess at an embassy ball.
I'll say you're the greatest teacher alive if you can make that good.
It's almost irresistible. She's so deliciously low, so horribly dirty. Hartford, Hereford, and Hampshire hurricanes hardly ever happen.
In Hartford, Hereford, and Hampshire, hurricanes hardly ever happen.
No.
So, Greg, what did you think of the production?
I loved it. And you and I have recently seen a Broadway touring production, too,
That's right,
which was great. And so, but this one compared so favorably. I mean, I thought it was fantastic. The performances were great. I thought the voices were terrific. The costumes and the scenery, the set, wonderful, or sets. Those were absolutely wonderful. And the characters were really, really engaging, and I think just got stronger as it went along. And not just the lead characters, I thought they were terrific. I thought Higgins was wonderful.
Yes, he was great.
Absolutely wonderful. And I thought Eliza was too. But I really liked, we may differ slightly on some of this, but I thought Eliza's dad was terrific. I thought a number of the other supporting cast members just really more than held their own.
Yeah.
It was totally enjoyable.
I mean, I agree mostly with what you said. I do think the performances were very good. The one thing I would differ with you, I think, is I didn't think it was that strong musically.
Yeah.
It was okay, but it kind of made up for it with the acting.
Yeah,
and,
the acting was great.
The actors who played Eliza, Pickering, and
Pickering.
Higgins, they were great. They had a lot of chemistry, and there was a lot of warmth between them. So you kind of wanted them to settle their differences and stay together.
And stay together. Also, there's the dialogue. There's a lot of it, and it's pretty. I mean, I was really impressed at how they were going through it because there's a lot there. They say a lot. It's so entertaining. And I thought they did an amazing job.
And I agree that the costumes were excellent.
Fantastic.
Especially the ones that were designed for the Ascot.
The Ascot scene was fantastic.
Yes. I think they compared well with the original costumes by Cecil Beaton, who also designed the costumes for the movie.
Yeah. No, they did. They compared really well. I mean, you felt like you were seeing something just like you were there in the movie. It was amazing.
And I loved the actor who played Doolittle. Eliza's father.
Yeah, he was great.
Jomar Tagata.
Yes, he was really good.
And he just brought down the house with his rendition of "Get Me to the Church on Time."
Yeah.
And we have a clip from that.
Some bloke who's able, lift up the table and get me to the church. Get me to the church. For God's sake, get me to the church.
great.
One of the interesting things about the production is the ending. We can't, we don't want to give it away, but it differs from both the original production, where Liza comes back to Henry Higgins, and you get the sense that they may not have a romantic relationship, but they're going to stay together. And then in the recent revival that we saw, the touring production, it was originated at Lincoln Center. There's a completely different interpretation of the ending, where Liza comes back. Higgins says, "Where the devil are my slippers?" And she realizes then that he's never going to change. So she walks out on him. Now this the one for this production in San Francisco is different from those two, but we won't give it away.
No, because the touring production was a little more of a feminist ending, which was great, I think. Loved it, and timely, and very different from what would have been the case in the 50s. This one, again, is maybe reflective of our times. In a different way. Loved it. Loved it.
So sounds as if we both came away thinking that this was a loverly production.
Loverly.
And we recommend it.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's our show. We are going to take the month of August off, but we're planning to be back in September with a new episode of Curtain Up. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at the theater.